everybody, you're tuned into Kana's Corner. Sorry about that little delay, but on the plus side, I'm here with our wonderful friend Matt. Thank you for coming back.
It is my pleasure.
And it's so awesome to have you back because you were a blast to talk with last time. You're hilarious.
I thank you for the opinion, although I grossly disagree, but it is accepted.
And we were talking a little bit in the background before the interview about those lovely non-disclosure agreements, and
Yes.
I was wondering, because you worked with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Crystal Bears, how was the Square Enix, like, banhammer sort of NDA?
They're notoriously pretty handy as far as researching to see who's breaking NDA. There have been some voice actors in the past, at least I've heard, who, when working in Square Enix and a couple of the company's titles, if they put their information on their resume too soon, there's almost like a blacklisting of that actor again for breaking NDA. So there's already kind of a well-known element of just not mentioning anything until you're absolutely certain you can. And this is my second Final Fantasy titled game, so I already had a little bit of a spiel from beforehand, but this one was a little bit more higher profile than the previous one, so I really had to kind of keep underway. I put Crystal Chronicles on my resume a couple months before release without character names, just putting unannounced, thinking I could at least, put it up there, that'd be okay, and I still got a little bit of slack for that. So yeah, they're pretty stringent about that.
Well, I'm sure, companies just want to protect their property. It makes it harder for people like us who are like, who did this? Who did that? But what can you do?
Well, it's one of those things where I didn't expect there to be people out there seeking the information. It's kind of a new thing to me to see these websites. People are dedicating to finding out who's casting what and posting cast lists on forums, and then they just spread like wildfire. I'd updated my personal website resume with my characters on No More Heroes, and literally 2 days later got an email from somebody who's also in the project saying, "Oh, cool! I see you're on the list for the characters there." And I said, "Oh, don't tell the company." I didn't realize there was there was any sort of element. I don't think they actually signed an NDA for No More Heroes, which is good. But yeah, there's always the constant fear that even just the slightest bit of information you give out will catch wildfire, and pretty soon you get slack from a producer.
Now, would you say that working on Final Fantasy is sort of maybe weird or exciting for you, since Final Fantasy has been around, what, like 20 years now, I think?
Yeah, God, I'm getting old. No, for me, it's a huge privilege. I grew up with Final Fantasy. Like, I remember back in the day on the old school NES, and I was about 7 years old, and back Asswood, Florida, in the first Fantasy with a friend on the weekend when I didn't know probably was Ogre and all that Ogre. It's like that kind of a scenario. So as a person who grew up with this year, it's really awesome part of it and get to meet the producers involved, and it's just fun to actually type it into the resume. Be like, oh, that's a little part of my childhood there. So yeah, it was fun. The characters played specifically was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I know my earliest copy of Final Fantasy was I think it's the SNES one, Final Fantasy 3, but it was really like Final Fantasy 6 because of the
Six,
numbering
yeah.
different.
So, America can't deal with Roman numerals for some reason. I don't know.
We don't follow the rules here. We're America.
Nah, metric system, whatever.
So, how exactly did the auditioning process go for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Crystal Bears? Did they call you back in because perhaps they saw you in the Chocobo Dungeon one, or was it something else?
Possibly. I'm not sure the reasoning why. I mean, I'd worked with the director before, both on Star Ocean and on Chocobo Dungeon. And so they had to come back and audition. And as it is with most voice auditions, especially when it comes to Japanese games, you don't get a lot of information on the characters before you actually go in the booth. So yeah, I was given a basic rundown of the character description, and I had a whole idea of a voice in my head that would work for it. And I was like, okay, this will work out fine for it. I went over the lines a few times, showed up, and then they finally gave me character art, and it was not at all what I expected the character to look like. So I literally had to change the voice on the spot. And it kind of organically became almost like a homage to Moe from The Simpsons by the time I'd finished the audition. The more of a raspy, kind of an interesting character. So that was not what I had intended to do when I went in to actually read the character, but apparently it stuck. They had me in for it, so yay.
Well, whatever works. And you got to actually work with, I think it's, oh no, I'm blanking. I know it's Jonathan Klein does New Generation Pictures, if I
Yes.
believe that was the studio. Uh, is there anything specific that stands out with that studio for you?
Well, Jonathan Klein is just a fantastic person in general. I've worked with him on a number of projects, and he's not only very knowledgeable of the projects he works on. Like, there's a lot of directors out there where it's gig, it's a job, and they Wikipedia elements of whatever they're working on, but they don't really get too deep into the lore or backstory to the characters and the story, other than what's sent to them in PDF format from the producer they're working for. So working with Jonathan is great because he gives you fantastic background on what the scene is involved with, what the characters' motivations are in the sequence, and he just has a really good history in both the anime and video game industry, and he's a lot of fun to work with. So he's always a pleasure.
I remember we met him actually back at Anime Vegas 2009, and we sat down with an interview with him, and he couldn't announce a project, and I'm going to assume that project was Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Crystal Bears, because at the time it was very hush hush.
Mm. Like I said, Square Enix, especially if you're working on any project with a Final Fantasy in the title, it's best to assume that there's a sniper within visual range at all times.
Oh no, so we don't want to lose Kirby.
No. Well, I think I'm okay. I'm looking at my window right now. Yeah, I think I'm good. All right, we're fine. If you hear a high-pitched whine and a sudden impact, just call 911.
It's like, Matt, that seems we got disconnect now.
Yeah. Chris gets my Xbox, by the way. So.
Okay, just we're clarifying that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's not incentive, Chris. I'm just anyway. Yeah. All right.
No, it's fine. But can you tell us a little bit about your character?
Blaze is, I guess, is a fire-specific mage who's kind of this very insidious, or at least considers himself to be this mastermind, this kind of a trickster who's kind of pulling the strings from behind, and not at all. He starts off almost like kind of a joke character. His first appearances involve him being outrun by a chocobo cart, nearly knocked over, and then eventually being confronted by the main bad guy himself. But yeah, he has this very kind of Napoleonic complex about him, and if you ever look at the character design, he's not your typical Final Fantasy character. He's not beautiful, beachy. He's not a quiet loner who wields a sword and a shadow over his past. He's just this kind of trollish dude in robe who has this awesome throw going on and this bulbous nose, and he was just a lot of fun to bring a lot of personality and character to. So that was a good change of pace.
Well, it does seem that you do better with characters that have some sort of very odd vocal affliction, in my personal opinion. I don't mean to judge.
Oh, no judgment there. I love those. Like, I seem to go in for a lot more like young teenagers and the heroic sounding 21-year-old is just out there to take the world by storm and hope that he'll find a path that's ready for him, which is fun, but it's kind of cliche over a while, over a period of time. So it's very nice to get really interesting, creepy, messed up, weird, and just awkward and oddball characters. So I really relish that experience.
Oh, definitely. And it's funny now because after There Will Be Brawl, I've programmed into my mind whenever I hear your voice, I think Kirby. It's terrible now because it's so haunting.
That was good. Perhaps I can make a phone message further if you prefer.
Oh, God. Sends shivers up my spine.
Well, that's the least I can do, I think. I'm actually looking forward to this coming Saturday evening in Los Angeles. We're having our big There Will Be Brawl rap party extravaganza at the Club Goodhart. So if you or anybody else out there in the Los Angeles area this coming Saturday, March 13th, you can look on Facebook for our actual There Will Be Brawl fan page has the information as well. But we'll be having the whole cast and crew there for the entire evening. It is 21 and over, so there will be drinks. There will be partying. We have the Megas, which are a Mega Man themed cover band, are playing. We have some great dancers, a whole dance troupe coming to perform. A bunch of great DJs lined up. We'll have a photo op with Kirby. So if you want to go and embrace that nightmare, you're more than welcome to.
Well, sadly, I can't because I just turned 19, but I could probably send one of my loyal minions out there to stock the party.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's open to the public. It's a $10 cover charge, and you are access to the entire event. There is a VIP area that if you are be able to sneak you into if you're interested in meeting some of the more interesting folk of the cast. I know Kyle Hebert will be there as well. He's another fantastic voice actor. I don't know if you guys have talked with him yet, but he's awesome.
Kyle is hilarious. We had him on, and he's a blast. So that'll be great for any fans of the series, because I know you guys had so many being on The Escapist and everywhere else.
No, it was unexpectedly large when we released the series, and just continued to grow from there. And it's gotten to the point now where even our friend Damien, who played Captain Falcon in the series, is recognized at a subway as Captain Falcon, which I still hold over his head, and probably will to the day he dies. So that was fun.
No, you just make fun of him at parties and whatnot.
Which is great, because everyone was like, hey, say, show me your moves. Say, show me your moves. He's like, I don't really want to do it. I'm like, come on. And he says it's like, no, do it again, but do it a little more gay. He's like, all right, I'm gonna leave now. So I'm enjoying those social encounters on his side of things.
Oh, that is fantastic. And on that note, I think we'll go to a short break. But when we come back, I'm sure we'll have even more funny stories. So stay tuned to 91.8.
918thefan.com. Have you logged on today?
Who, me? No. No?
iStock's daily news show, video reviews, articles, forums, and an anime directory. Don't get left behind. Log in today. Only on
918thefan.com?
918thefan.com.
All right, 918thefan.com.
Welcome back to Kana's Corner. I'm still here with Matthew Mercer, who's awesome, by the way. We just keep chatting in the background, and I think I'm losing time, wouldn't you say?
A little bit. That's okay. There's nothing of interest in the back, really, except for everything you do not hear.
It's stuff that you might want to hear. We do actually happen to have uncut interviews for special people if they become fanatics on our site. Check out the VIP area. You should do that.
You should do that, actually, because there's some tasty bits of information that you normally would not hear. Some of them legally incriminating, so enjoy that.
We'll try not to get anybody in trouble. Don't worry.
I appreciate that, and so does the law enforcement community of Utah.
Now, I did want to ask you. Did you talked about No More Heroes earlier? The second one, Desperate Struggle, and so that must be really cool for you.
That was fun. That one was directed by Chris Zimmerman, who's a wonderful director. She directed all the Metal Gear games. She directed God of War. She's done a lot of great work, and I've worked with her on a number of projects. She's a lot of fun. But this one in particular was fun because, well, any of you familiar with No More Heroes, it's very stylized, balls to the wall, the Quentin Tarantino of stylized video games. But the character I got to do, I didn't know what he looked like at first. They gave me some early concept art, and I just kind of played with him a bit. It's kind of a feminine, almost pseudo goth rocker character named Skelter Helter, and just pulls his own head off at one point. Like, it's just that kind of a game where it gets really strange and awesome. And then I sent me my copy of the game a while back, and I started playing through it, and the character appears to be modeled off as a direct parody of Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, that's hilarious! I'm the sad little person who hasn't played it, so this is all news to me.
Oh, he's one of the first bosses in the game. So you check him out pretty early, and yeah, he has the cloud hair. He has the sleeveless turtleneck. It's a direct parody. So, as a fan of the Final Fantasy series and VII in particular, that was a interesting and cool little element to my character I wasn't expecting.
Now, I'm kind of swerving off topic a little, but have you heard of the sort of accusations that the character Lightning for Final Fantasy 13 is supposedly a female Cloud?
I've heard of this type of talk. I don't know. I can already say she seems to have at least a little more personality than Cloud, which I hate to say, but yeah, Cloud just doesn't have a whole lot of substance to his character. I really want to play 13 and kind of get a feel for it. I don't know. Final Fantasy series has been kind of waxing and waning for me in some elements as of late. I tried playing through the online 11 game for a while, and that was just a horrible grind. I really
it's really hard to get into, especially if you're new at it.
Yeah. I mean, like, especially if you've played any other online MMOs. Like I'm from the old school of MUDs on the internet up to EverQuest, and Asheron's Call, that era. So at the time it was a heavy grind, and then after World of Warcraft, there's just no reason to even look back. But yeah, 11 was a little rough for me. 12 I enjoyed. I actually really enjoyed 12, although the combat system was a little strange. 13, I keep hearing all these reviews saying it's extremely linear. A lot of the maps are pretty straightforward, and it has, I don't know, I'm curious. It looks really, really pretty, and well, it's Final Fantasy, so I'm sure I'll play it at some point. But
Well, I don't know what system you have, but just so you know, we're giving away 4 copies, and that means you can listen and win one too.
that
Yes.
seems like cheating. Thus I will do it.
It's not necessarily cheating because you're not an employee, so it all works out.
This is also true. No, I'm pretty stoked for it. It's just been so long. I remember seeing it at E3 like 3, almost 4 years ago, and it's finally coming out. It's almost like, oh yeah, it's coming. Nice.
Well, I believe with 12 there was a huge gap. I think it was like a 5-year gap between, if you don't count 11, between 10 and 12.
Yeah, it's also very true. Well, they had to rebuild that from scratch. They got partway through the production on that, I think, and ended up scrapping most of the engine, and they changed producers on it, and that was just a whole crazy mix-up there. So it was interesting. But I think the product came out pretty good at the end. I enjoyed it.
Though I'll be honest, and not to be mean or anything, you're the first person I know who really liked 12.
Well, it's okay. I'm a strange person. I've got strange tastes. I guess I enjoyed it because I really enjoyed the voice acting in it, and the characters were really fun. And I was a fan of the world of Fanadiel from Final Fantasy Tactics, and I just like that style. So I was already on board for that. And the combat system, the game system was fun because, well, I didn't have to focus so much on just jamming the attack button at all times. That was a nice little delay. And I may have just been in a very good place in my life at the time and was like, oh, this is just fun and gentle. So I may be biased.
Oh no, it's quite all right. I felt bad. I had to sit myself down and play it because I think it was the combat system. It felt very online, and after coming from Final Fantasy 11, it was like, this seems grindy.
I could see that. Yeah, definitely.
But now that we've totally gone off the topic, let's keep going off the topic. What are you playing now?
Right now, I finished Mass Effect and Dragon Age. I'm partway through a second playthrough of Mass Effect 2 because you wanna check it out as a tough ass renegade, angry person.
Yeah, you want to get all the endings and all the fun parts.
Exactly. Plus, my Commander Shepard is a lesbian, and it was very sad to realize that you could not get with Callie, the awkward alien lady. I was very depressed about that. So I'm playing through as a male Shepard to try and appeal to whatever creepy attraction I have towards the alien character. Anyway, another topic. I'm also playing through Borderlands with my friend Greg. We're going through the new expansion, the General Knox thing, which is just intense and kicking our ass entirely. But that game is also a lot of fun, so I highly recommend it if you're into the kind of Diablo-esque shooters.
I myself, I very much need to get through that one as well. Like I have so many games and they just keep piling up. I actually have, I feel terrible because I know you were in Star Ocean 4. I have Star Ocean, the international version for PlayStation 3, and it's still in the plasticgraph.
Oh, you break my heart.
I'm sorry.
You break my little heart. No, it's fine. It's a good game. Actually, I really enjoyed Star Ocean 4. I played Star Ocean 2 back in the day and really enjoyed that, and I missed 3. But 4 was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and it was just really weird to hear my voice coming out of a really young-looking blonde kid.
I can't wait to play it personally because besides There Will Be Brawl, I am in Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. That's the first one that I know where you were like a very big prominent role, at least within my collection that I have.
Well, I'm glad I could acquire that position in the ladder. Edge Maverick and Star Ocean was a lot of fun and really intense. It was 4 weeks recording 4 to 6 hours a day. But that project was up in Shanghai, actually. I got to go to the country out there and enjoy the wonderful atmosphere. Shanghai's a beautiful city, by the way. It's a little smoggy, but it's a very, very beautiful city and a lot of fun to wander around. So that was kind of one of the fringe benefits of that project that I really enjoyed.
Oh wow, that's usually not very, common, is it?
Not usually very common. It depends, I assume. I don't know all the specifics too, but a lot has to do with budgetary reasons. I know that games that, especially RPGs, require so much dialogue to be recorded, just so much. It's large bulks. And if the company it doesn't allot a lot of money towards the voiceover budget, it's sometimes cheaper to actually fly the actors to other areas where the hourly rate to rent out a studio is cheaper. Los Angeles is not known for its cheap studio recording rates, so I assume that that's probably one of the main reasons. Plus, because it was closer to Japan, and they were on the same time schedule, it was much easier to get immediate feedback from the producers and actually have them on the line. So I see there are a number of benefits to that as well.
That must have been very weird. You must have had to totally turn around your schedule.
It was very strange at first. Yeah, I don't remember much of the first week, I think, because the transition was so chaotic. My brain was just malfunctioning and trying desperately to adjust. But once the delicious food had set in and a little bit of the nightlife had been experienced, I think I transitioned pretty well.
And did you bring back any awesome souvenirs?
I did, actually. I brought back a bunch of just cool statues and figures, and I actually had there's a store there that was selling customized action figures. They would actually sculpt action figures based on pictures you give of a person. So I got images of me and my girlfriend from different angles. I had her emailing some pictures of her from different angles, and we got 2 little customized action figures of ourselves.
Oh, that's actually really neat. I'm sorry. I apparently got a little bit of lag at that point.
That's okay. It was neat. It's a little creepy. I'm not gonna lie. It was a really, really cool idea at the time. Then you buy it, like, that's pretty neat. Then you take it home and you leave it on your desk, and then you wake up in the middle of the night and sit up and you look over and there's just a little miniature you on the desk staring at you in the darkness. And you're like, okay, this was a bad idea.
Well, hopefully there's no reported attacks from dolls in your area in the recent future.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for that. I'm going to sleep well tonight. That's wonderful.
I'm sorry. Hey, that's payback for Kirby. That's payback for Kirby.
All right, fair enough. I'll give you that.
Now, are there any projects you can talk about that are coming up, or was No More Heroes like the freshest?
No More Heroes is the freshest. There are a number I'm working on right now, still under NDA. I can't talk about, unfortunately. But I will have more things to talk about a few months down the line, and actually hoping to hear back on one really big project that I just came back from a second callback on. So hopefully some really, really good news little ways down the road in the year 2010.
All right, that actually sounds really cool, and we will hopefully bug you then as well.
I so enjoy being bugged, so I have no worries there.
And is there anything else you want to tell our listeners?
Well, you guys are awesome, and thank you for listening to my geeky rants, as I'm now currently coming off of a 12-hour Dungeons and Dragons game from yesterday. Yes, I'm a nerd.
Oh, that's okay. We're all geeks too. I've been playing Heavy Rain, so.
Oh, I love playing Heavy Rain. I want to play it. I hear it's a lot more involved than I expected it would be based off the early trailers.
I played their first game, which was Indigo Prophecy, but you get really tense, like when you come out of a movie. You know how you get all pumped up because your characters can die, and once they're dead, so you're very cautious of what it is you're doing, and when you're in a very high intense scene, you're like, oh no, I'm gonna die, oh no. So it gets kind of you all excited.
That's fantastic. I'll have to jump into that once I find some time. That'd be awesome.
Yes, it will be awesome. And is there any links that you want our viewers to know about, and like anything new Twitters, new Facebooks, new YouTubes maybe?
Oh, yes. Well, you can always follow me on Twitter under at Matthew Mercer. I don't update too frequently, but I'm trying to be better about that because my agent tells me I should. Also, once again, if you guys are in the LA area this Saturday, March 13th, please do come to the Good Hurt Club in LA to check out the There'll Be Brawl Rap Party. Yeah, it's all the stuff off the top of my head. I'll have more things down the road, of course. We have a few video projects for the internet that we're developing and working on. And one animated show that we're in the process of writing and getting ready for pitch season, too. So we'll definitely have some more things to talk about down the road.
Oh, awesome. Well, once again, thank you for joining the show. We really appreciated talking to you again.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's always a blast, you guys.
Awesome stuff. And for everybody listening, remember you can catch this interview on the site later today or tomorrow. And stay tuned because you can win your own copy of God of War 3. So keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't. Or hear that because that was creepy.